What's going on, YouTube Metal Complex here, and today I'm going to attempt to sharpen another knife. My buddy David told me that his nephew had actually received the knife, I think from his grandpa, and so this is an old knife, an old fixed blade, buck fixed blade, that does not have an edge on it whatsoever. In fact, this knife seems to have been thoroughly used. So I thought, you know, hey, that's a great opportunity to show on camera what I'm doing and kind of update with some tips and tricks that I have received from some of my viewers. So I've got some dish soap here today. I've got my water, of course. I've got my marker, and I've got a little more fine rag to wipe away some of the metal dust and everything. We're also going to be starting with, I'm not 100% sure you guys can see that, the Beast, which is a 50 grit diamond stone. Now, I'm sure it may not be 100% necessary, but I want to get a feel for what using this thing is like. So, and I'm going to cut this video. We're going to do, like, I'm going to, you know, essentially, just like I did last time, except not quite as lengthy, kind of show you guys what I'm doing and then progress off camera until I have achieved a burr. I think that's probably the best way to do it, because I'm okay with this video lasting like 20, 30 minutes even, but I don't really want it to be a 45-minute video again. That just didn't seem like it was the right thing to do. So let's go ahead and get this guy in the right spot here, and then we're gonna push it down. For those of you watching this video and you're like, what the heck am I watching? Here's what you're watching. You're watching a guy who has been a knife nut for a long time, but has never really been brave enough to learn how to sharpen. You're watching him learn candidly, you know, organically with his viewers, how to use the KME sharpening system. I recently purchased this. I have one video of me using this, and it was, you know, I did okay. I messed up and sharpened part of the clamp. You know, somebody said in the comment section, they said, you can you can say, you know, officially you're the only person to have ever how did he put it? Sharpened the KME. I actually sharpened the KME system itself. I'm the only person on YouTube to have done that. Probably not, but that made me laugh really hard. So anyways, what I did is the same thing. I hope I'm in focus here. What I did here is I drew the line on the edge here. Now what I'm going to do is pretty much attempt to you know, reprofile this knife, and then we're going to go down and go down the grits here. Next up will be 100, then 140. We'll just kind of go through here. First off, we're going to check. I think I'm sitting at 25 right now, 25 degrees. Find out where we're at here. That seems to be very, is it high? I think it's just a little bit high. So we're going to bring it down just a little bit. We're going to bring it down. We were actually at 26, according to this. Now, of course, where I've got it clamped, the height of the blade, thickness of the blade, all that's going to change. I should be using that digital angle square, but I haven't put batteries in it yet. Where are we at here? Yeah. That looks to be close to the right place. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more. Watch, you know, this time, watch me do actually more bad. You know, I was surprised that people were so supportive in my first video. I thought for sure I was going to get people like, man, you don't deserve to even own that thing, let alone attempt to use it. But you guys were cool. You guys were nice, and you didn't make me feel like a complete idiot. So I'm gonna keep going, but watch me mess this up way worse this time. So where are we at? Do I need to keep coming back just a little bit more? I think I actually can. So we're gonna bring it down just a little bit at a time. Back right there. Just going 1 degree at a time. I'm assuming that's how you professionals do it when you're finding the bevel. Maybe I'm going too hard. Maybe I shouldn't even be using the this stone to find it. Okay, I think this is where I want to be. I think. I'm just going down here to see, because the curvature of the end of the blade is what really messes me up. That's a tough part, by the way, because I've tried to sharpen some other knives not on camera, and it has not gone well for me. I'm I'm actually going to go down just 1 more degree. And I know, I may not know what I'm doing, and you guys might go, no, stop, you know, or maybe it needs to be way, you know, much more of a shallow angle. I don't know. I'm exploring, and then I'm dependent on you guys to help me, you know, and explain to me what I'm doing wrong. Also, I think Alan G, you just told me on a comment in the last video, you said to go up and down 10 times across each side of the blade before, you know, basically before I go back, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 before I come back. I think that is what I'm going to do. I think that's sage advice. And I trust you, so that's what I'm going to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what I'm going to do all the way down. So I'm going to keep going with the 50 grit on this side until I've got a burr, and then I will come back as soon as we have made real progress here. Okay, I almost forgot. I got the dish soap out and I never did it. So this is from what I understand, it's like 1 drop, like that much. Is this how much dish soap? 1 drop like that. And then for water, let me set this down. I'm just guessing here, guys. You tell me if I'm doing something wrong as the video progresses, or in the comment section. Maybe a drop here and maybe a drop here. So this is what I'm assuming this is supposed to look like, and then I'm supposed to just rub this in with my finger. I hope that's the case. It's kind of sudsing up. So do I leave that film of soap on there? That's how I'm going to progress. I'm going to wipe my hands off on the side of this real quick. That's how I'm going to progress with this blade. So hopefully I'm doing some stuff right. But anyways, I'll be right back as soon as we've formed a burr. Okay, that took way longer than I thought it was going to, but I'll show you guys why. By the way, this is a Buck 118. Says on the other side. So, and this is a problem that I have with a lot of blades like this. The curvature towards the end of the blade there, that's taken a while to grind down. And you can see there, I kind of, you know, there wasn't much of a tip to begin with, but that's what's happening to the tip. So my question is, do I really want this clamp right in the middle of the blade, or do I want it like up here, and do I want it more at an angle so that this is all even, or so that this is easier to grind and the tip doesn't, you know, round out like that? I don't know. That's something that I would definitely like to know. But we have finished with this side. We finally have a burr. So now I'm going to go ahead and flip her over here and see if we can do the exact same thing on this side. Here's another weird thing that I found. So I've been grinding like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? Now after a while, I experimented and I started going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so. And I kept doing that. And I found that the burr started to form much faster doing these downstrokes. Is that in my imagination? One moment. Sorry about that. Thought I could hear my dogs barking at something. Anyways, I also realized I forgot to knock the burr off. And I left the stone over here. But anyways, what I usually do for people who are maybe wanting to learn with me is as soon as I flip it, apparently you're supposed to knock the burr off with upstrokes. So despite what I was just saying about downstrokes, you're actually supposed to take the burr off the other side, according to the professionals or the people who wrote the pamphlet. You're supposed to take the burr off the other side with upstrokes like this. But anyways, so the burr starts to form faster, and when I'm doing downstrokes like this, and I'm almost like they're like curving towards the tip of the blade downstrokes. Should I be doing all of my strokes up and down like this? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should I be doing them down like this? Should I be doing up and down for a little bit and then down? I don't know. It'd be another thing that I would very much appreciate if people in the comment section could help me out with. We will return as soon as this side has a burr. Okay, we've got a burr on most of this, but so I mean, here's what's happening. So here's the other side. You can see here. So I'm feeling it right there. I'm not feeling it right here. But then it reappears right there. Definitely. So we'll go over, I'll turn it upside down, and we'll go over with the Q-tip. Actually, here, we'll just rotate it. So, we're catching there. It's definitely wanting to peel me there. Not so much there. Now it's definitely coming back. Definitely, all the way. Just about, maybe not so much on the tip, but I mean, it's definitely catching my Q-tip there. So, but the problem is I'm worried that I might be knocking the burr off because the grit is so heavy. I mean, is that possible? Am I just not correct in thinking that? Also, how often should I be putting a drop of soap on this thing? This is probably the third time I've done it. Is that too much? Who knows? It looks like it might be a little bit too much to me. We're going to take a little bit of that off there with this rag. And then I'm going to do a little tiny bit of water. I am getting dust. I'm also getting excess scratches on the blades, or on the blade, which, is that something that I should prevent with like masking tape? Or is it supposed to be prevented with this soap? I mean, you know, this knife doesn't matter as much because it has been used, so there's scratches all over it. But if this were a much nicer knife, you know, that would kind of bum me out. Some of you probably roll your eyes at that, but you know, I don't want to put excess or unnecessary blemishes on a really nice looking blade if I don't have to. So anyways, oh, gosh. I'm sure you guys are all like, what are you doing? Change grits. Down to 100 grit. XXC or extra coarse. 100 grit is what we're switching to now. Of course, first move this time, knock that burr off. So, start right there, up, 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 up. I'm going to do it again. Up, 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 up. Okay. Now, what I did last time, because I was talking about upstrokes and downstrokes, I did this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did that about 10 to 15 times, and then I did this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 about 5 times, and that created the burr. Is that all just in my head? Am I doing something there? Is that working better or worse? I don't know. If you guys could tell me, that'd be great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what I'm going to be doing on this side with 100 grit until we get a burr. We'll be right back. Okay, we've got a burr on that side, so let's go ahead and flip her over here. And once again, let me make sure that's locked down. I did go ahead and add some soap and water to the stone, for those of you who are wondering. We'll go ahead and knock the burr off this side. Do it again just for good measure. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, anyways, again, we'll be back as soon as we get a burr on that side. Okay, we have achieved a burr on that side, which means it is time to switch stones again. We are dropping down now, or up, however you want to see it. Can you see that? The 140? Hopefully you can. I don't feel like getting back up. So, trying to remind myself again. Let's do one teeny little drop of soap. Again, that's about where we ended up right there. It just seems like a lot to me. Just clean some of that up just a little bit. And again, just a little bit of water, water right there. That's what I've been doing. I just mix them together. that side I did the downstroke thing and it didn't seem to work, so I was doing 20 up and down per side because it just seemed like I was making more progress without adding additional or unnecessary pressure. And then all of a sudden the burr started to form, so I just kept going and eventually got it the whole way. Sometimes it feels like the burr is more this way or this way and I have to tilt my fingernail to find it. And my instinct, you know, well, my ego is wanting me to blame it on the damage to the edge of the knife. But the angle of this should be doing the work for me, so it's probably an error on my part. It's funny the thoughts that you have while you're sitting here doing something repetitive. I was thinking about something my dad said about how we're going to go ahead and knock the burr off. Wait, I have not flipped this. Let's flip it the other way. Something my dad said about, let's make sure this is the side with the burr. Yeah. Feels like it. Definitely. Just trying to be sure. My grandpa used to sharpen a knife, I guess, with just a stone. And I said, oh, is he really good at sharpening? And he said, I don't know. He would sharpen his knife when he needed to. And I was like, so you know, I mean, you never like tested. And he was like, no, he just, if the knife felt dull to him, then he would sharpen it. And he'd use this little stone. And then he'd sharpen it until it was sharp enough to use. And then it made me think, we spend all this time making these knives like razor sharp. At what point and with what steel is it necessary to continue to sharpen a blade? You know, like what's the exact, you know, the most economic blade steel in terms of, you know, edge retention and ease of sharpening, and then furthermore, what type of edge do you really need on a working blade? It's a weird thing to think about, you know, but I find myself 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I find myself thinking about stuff like that while I'm doing this, because I think just right now, I mean, this is kind of like caveman sharp, but I think I could go out and use this, you know, for a fair amount of time and get some things done before I need to resharpen it again. I don't know, just random thoughts. Anyways, we'll be back when we've got a burr on this side. Okay, we're back and we have a burr, and that burr formed insanely fast, like 3 times faster than the other side. So I guess now I go ahead and flip it. I mean, that was insanely fast. Again, this is 140, the extra coarse 140 grit. So let's go ahead and knock the burr off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I hurting the blade by doing more upstrokes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or should I take the whole burr off in one stroke and then just be done with it? I don't know. Would be nice to know. So now this is what I've been doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Should I be doing 10? Can I do 20? Am I getting too much down to the tip? I don't know. Those are questions I've had, or that I have on this last run. I don't know if this is entertaining to watch. You know, for me, time is passing a lot slower. For you guys, it's passing a lot faster. I don't know. I'm just kind of saving my thoughts and questions for each interval here. We'll be back when we have a burr. Okay, we're back, and once again, that burr formed super fast. So I was going, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, to all the way up to 20, and I did that 10 times, and the burr has formed. I have noticed that there are a couple of flaws, a couple of spots I probably didn't do enough on when I was using the Beast or the 50 grit, because it's almost like a bald spot in the blade, and the whole edge would have need to be brought back, would need to have been brought back further to accommodate for that flaw in the blade. But it's minor, and I'll just have to remember next time, like, don't get ahead of myself. I need to watch for stuff like that and make sure 100% that I've got a burr forming all the way across the blade when I'm using that heavy of a grit. I don't know, maybe, did I cause that to happen when, you know, because I was using that heavy of a grit? Did it take like a chunk out of the blade? I don't know. This seems like it's probably, I mean, this is an old Buck 118 that it says USA on it. I don't know if this is from the 80s or the 90s. I don't know. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like it's been left in a toolbox. We are now on, let me look. We're now on the 300 course. So, and the edge is becoming noticeably sharper. I mean, you know, it won't be like, is a factory, you know, like let's say we're talking about a ZT0562 from the factory. Is that about a 600 grit edge? I feel like I watched the thing, Frankie and Bird were talking about the, you know, the different levels of sharpness depending on what grit you stopped at. And I could have sworn it said 300 or 600 was about factory. So, I mean, I'll be pumped if I'm getting close to a factory edge. Well, you know, factory sharp edge, that's pretty broad. You know, that seems like it's way too much on there. Maybe because this is such a fine grit now, we're not getting it, it's not foaming up as much. Who knows? Here's what it looks like. Too much, not enough. Shouldn't do it at all. I don't know. So we're going to knock that burr off. Let me make sure that we're on the right side here. Yeah. Definitely we're on the right side. It's hard to keep track of things. I'll tell you what, you guys who have spent years and years and years refining and honing your skill, man, I have a lot of respect for you. And I've only done this like 2 or 3 times. I've sharpened another knife, or tried to sharpen another knife off camera. This takes a lot of time, even with a professional, you know, diamond kit like this. This takes a lot of time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's what we're doing. 10 times, 20 up and down. See if we get a burr. We'll be right back. Okay, we have achieved a burr. And yeah, there's definitely like, the finer I go, the easier it is to see all those spots where I got ahead of myself. There's a little spot right here. Let me see. Because the burr doesn't form as readily on there. Yeah, a little spot right there. And then another one up here. There's 3 little spots in the blade where I just, you know, I just wasn't patient enough. And I guess when I'm working with something that's this used, 1, 2, 3. I want to say, I think I'm using too many upstrokes. 1, 2, 3. It's probably like a good sharpener will just use 1 or 2 and be done with it. But yeah, you know, when I'm working with something that's this old and that's been this beat up, I imagine that reprofiling, you really just have to be patient and take your time with it, not get, you know, not get overly like, I gotta, you know, just move on to the next grid as fast as I can. You know, this is obviously something that requires a lot of patience, so I'm gonna have to learn how to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're gonna be doing that 9 or 10 more times. See if we can get a burr and move on. All right, we are definitely getting sharper, and my battery is getting deader, more dead. Don't worry, I'm from Kansas, but I'm not a bumpkin. I, for the most part, know how to talk right. All right, and hopefully I don't think I have an accent. I think I'm one of the people from the Midwest who just doesn't have an accent. Not all of us out here have accents, by the way. Let me knock this burr off. Actually, no, we got to switch now. We got to switch to, we were at the 300 coarse. We're going to switch to the 600 fine, which is this one right here. And don't worry, I will test the edge, show you guys whether or not I wasted my time this time. Hey, but I have not sharpened the clamp, you know? This isn't a pen knife, so it doesn't need the pen knife clamps, but I have not sharpened the clamp this time. Let's go ahead and knock that burr off. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, let's add just a little tiny bit of soap. Boop. Okay. See, that's what I'm more comfortable with. Like, a little tiny bit to me is like that. And I'm always overdoing it. I'm always, you know, older channels that talked about like knife maintenance and just 1 drop of oil per side of the blade. You know, I took that my brain absorbed that like a sponge when I was getting into this. So now I try to be super careful about how much of something I put on a knife, you know? Too much, and I've been there. It makes a mess. Too much oil, it just gunks everything up. So I feel like maybe I apply the same line of thinking to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's what we're going to be doing yet again until we form the burr. Okay, I went ahead and just did both sides because I felt like I was cutting too frequently and my phone is dying. So I need to finish this up. We'll go ahead and knock this burr off. 3, 4, 1, 2, that's probably enough. Okay, so we're going to switch to the final grit here, which is the 1500 fine. So we're jumping from 600 to 1500, which is what it came with. That's weird. I feel like there should be 1,000. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the sharpness increases exponentially, so you need an exponential, exponentially finer grit. God dang, way too much there. Way too much soap. Boy, I've done that just about every single time, haven't I? But yeah, so I mean, is that why it jumps from 600 to 1500 so quick, or is there another reason? Should I have 1,000 grit diamond stone? Do I need one? Should I order one? I don't know. These are the kinds of questions that I think of in between cuts. So let me know in the comment section. Anyways, we'll be back when it's finished. Okay, we have finished, and I've got a piece of paper here that I'm gonna use to test. Whoop! I'm gonna cut myself at the end of this video. We're gonna loosen it up real quick. I'm going to push this forward. Get her out of the clamps there. It feels sticky. Yeah, moment of truth. Is it sharp? Kind of in spot. Yeah, it's pretty sharp. Okay. I mean, there's a couple of little tiny spots, but yeah, it's definitely sharp. Absolutely. Okay, so it's sharp now. It's definitely sharp enough to use, that's for sure. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video, or for this sharpening learning experience. I don't want to say demonstration. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So please check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, then please subscribe to my channel, because there is definitely more coming. Just wanted to give you guys a close-up of the edge after it's been completed there. There's a rough spot right there. That's what I was talking about. Anyways, thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.